Let's take a look at all 20 of our tanks before everything changes. If you've watched any of our recent live streams, or if you're a channel member, you already know this, but we are moving. Lisa and I have bought a property down in North Carolina, and we're moving everything, our aquariums, our business, ourselves, everything down there. And this is also why you'll see there's no pictures on the wall or anything. We are packing everything up. We're gonna move in the next month or so, and then absolutely everything is gonna change. The cool thing about this property that we bought is there's two buildings on it. One is gonna serve as our warehouse. The other we're gonna call this old fish house. That's going to be where we have all of our aquariums and all of the betas that we sell on the website. So lots of really big changes happening. We're really looking forward to it. But the thing is, before we move, we thought it would be a lot of fun to document everything that we have and also give you an opportunity to look back at these and see how everything's changed since we moved. Because I can tell you this, once we get on the other end and all of these tanks are in their permanent places, they're all going to get redone. One at a time, they're going to get redone so that they're easy to maintain and so that they look really good. So let's show every single one of our tanks that we have, talk about what we have in them, the fish, the mechanics of the whole thing, and then that'll be it. We'll see how it looks on the other end. So it only makes sense to start with the biggest tank that we have in the collection. This is my 360-gallon tank. Got this from Custom Aquariums. It was about 2 years ago, I guess, and I have absolutely enjoyed this tank so much. This tank represents exactly what I love about aquariums. Big fish with big personalities. I just absolutely love it. As far as what I have running this tank, it has a sump, the seamless sump system from Custom Aquariums with 2 pumps from Oase. I did a video about them a while back. I am going to be replacing those pumps soon, not because they're not good pumps, but because there's a better alternative out there from my favorite company in the world, CJ. So I'm going to be replacing the pumps in here on the other end of our move, but they're 1,400 gallon per hour pumps in here, and I think I'm going to go with something a little bit larger. I also have 2 300 watt heaters in here, Eheim thermal control heaters that we sell on our website. Those are running this. The lights are 4 Coral Life LEDs from 2015. And they've been just running strong ever since, but I've also added to it 2 4-foot aqua tops that we sell on our website, part of the testers that I was using. Right now, I'm happy with the way it looks. I'm thrilled with the fish. There's just one more that I want to add, and my friend Eric Furlow down in Florida says he has one for me. I want to add an ornate biker to this. If I can do that, I think this tank will be complete. Moving on with my personal tanks, this is right next to the 360. These are actually my desks here, so these tanks are sitting right next to me all day long while I'm sitting here working. We have the 29-gallon tank and then the 15-gallon cube. We have 4 deformed Danios that are in here. They are going to join our Goldfish when we move to North Carolina. So they won't be in this tank anymore, and I'm actually going to use this for pea puffers. This is a 15-gallon Aqueon cube. I think it's Aqueon that makes it. I've got the Hygger power sponge filter on here, the small size. It's working really, really well. And then there is a 50-watt Aquatop heater in here. The light on here, this is the small Aquatop LED, the smallest version of it, which I think is 12 to something, I'm not sure, but the smallest Aquatop LED that we sell, that's that one. This over here, on this 29, we've got the medium-sized power sponge filter from Hygger. Again, I'm a huge fan of this filter. It works really well, but it's not the only filter we have on here. I've also got the Tidal 35 on the back, a 100 watt, or it might be 150 watt. I should probably know these things, but I don't know. Another one of the Eheim thermal control heaters. That's what's running this. Other than that, that's it. I mean, it's a very simple system on here. As far as the fish go, we've got 7 Congo Tetras in here. Love, love, love these fish. but I think Lisa might steal these fish from me. I'm not sure yet. I think she's talked about them becoming hers. We also have a black angel back there in the corner. He is the last angel that we have, and we decided to put him in here with the Congos, and it's kind of his tank now. He's running things, and the Congos do what he tells them to do. There's also a couple of nerite snails in there and a leopard pleco, I believe. Oops, I almost forgot to talk about the light on this tank. This is one of my favorite lights in all of the aquarium hobby. I am looking forward to having these lights available on my website very, very soon. They are the Luma Lights, which are from the same company that makes Reef Bright lights. But let me tell you, I told them their slogan for their lights needs to be, "You just have to see it," because it's true. You have to see these lights. They are absolutely incredible. Unlike any other light I've ever seen in the hobby. Anyway, that's the light in there. The Luma Light from Reef Bright, but I think it's just Luma Light. I don't know. I love it though. The other tank that you see in every single live stream that we do and a lot of the videos that we do is this 240 gallon yellow lab tank. This is another Custom Aquariums tank, 240 gallons. It's 30 inches tall, 6 feet wide, and 24 inches deep. It's the perfect size aquarium. I get asked a lot, what's my favorite size? I think this is probably it. I've got two that are identical except different colors. And I just absolutely love the versatility of these tanks and all the different things that you can do with them. And look at these 60 absolutely vibrant, unbelievable yellow labs. As far as lighting this tank, I've only got two 36-inch Aquatop lights on here. It's not the brightest thing in the world because this is so tall, but it shows up perfectly for the live stream. I might add more lighting to it when we move, but for now, this is going to work out perfectly fine. And the filtration, again, is the seamless sump from Custom Aquariums. Two CJ pumps in there, two 300-watt heaters down in the sump. They are the Eheim thermal controls, and it's absolutely flawless. I have to do very little with this tank. It's the perfect aquarium because I shouldn't say this, maybe I should knock on wood. Nothing ever really goes wrong now that I have the right filtration in here. And the fish are magnificent. And yeah, the tank is on casters too. So it's going to be very easy to move down to North Carolina. This is my 75-gallon Goldfish tank. I've got 3 gifts from Lisa in here, 3 fancy tails. I love these fish. This guy down here, for some reason, when he relaxes, he likes to flip upside down and just float upside down. He's a goofball. It scares me every single time I see it. But in there with them is 6 or 7 white clouds, gold white clouds. Call them whatever you want to call them. I call them one of my favorite fish because they're just magnificent. No heater in here. Don't really need that. The room stays about 73 degrees. So they're all completely fine in there and they're just absolutely thriving. For a light, I've got the Fluval 3.0 Reef Light. Got this light from Aquarium Co-op back in like 2019, and it's been running like a workhorse ever since. This is kind of like the Fluval tank because the filter on this tank is the Fluval 407. I think I've cleaned this tank out maybe, or the filter out maybe 4 times in the last 2 years, and it's just run, it just works. Everybody knows Fluval filters. The canister filters, they're some of the best out there. They just run their workhorses, and on this tank it's no different. So that's it, Fluval 407, Fluval 3.0, no heater, boom. You've probably been wondering about my little Aquatop 5-gallon scape that I did with the Tropica plants. You've been wondering, how is that tank doing? Well, look how it's doing. This tank is thriving. I've never had this level of success with plants in my life ever. I don't think I've lost any plants in here at all. In fact, it's been the exact opposite. The plants have just been growing out of control. And you can see I need to cut it down soon because the Rotala in the back, the crypts, they're just taking off. But it's okay because it looks really good. And 2, I've got endlers in there and they don't need that much space. They are thrilled. This is a complete system from Aquatop. So it has the light already included with it. And then I did put the 25-watt Pisces preset heater in the back. It's very nice. It slides right into the filter. So it's hidden and it's a beautiful thing. I mean, it just works out really, really well. So that's it for the mechanics on this tank. Everything comes with it. You don't really need to fuss with it. It's going to be hard to take it out of my office when we move because Lisa and I have made a point. We will not have any aquariums in our house. I'm going to miss this one. And then there's this one. I did a video probably a month ago about this disaster. This was supposed to be a Harry Potter themed tank and it didn't really work out. Watch that video if you haven't seen it. It was kind of funny. It was one of my failures, but I didn't mind sharing that failure. So originally it was supposed to be a thriving planted Harry Potter themed tank. You can see right now it is not. What I have running this tank right now, I'm going to be honest. I went to my post office box one day and I was not expecting this, but there was a filter and a light in there from Nycrew. I didn't ask for it. They didn't tell me it was coming. It's just there. So I'm like, well, I don't have anything on this tank. Let me go ahead and put them on there. That way at least I can keep the plants alive while we wait to figure out what we're going to do with them. This tank is going to get taken down. The plants will be dispersed to other tanks. But for now, this is just kind of like a plant storage tank. This is Lisa's Nano tank that she scaped a while back just before I did mine. It's another one of the Aquatop complete setups. And just like mine, it is absolutely thriving. All of the plants in this tank are doing extraordinarily well. She's got cherry shrimp, a bunch of nerite snails, some CPDs, and some ember tetras in there. Again, a bunch of plants. It's just, look at it. I mean, just like mine, she does need to trim it back a little bit. It's getting a little bit out of control, but that's a good problem to have. This tank is very interesting. This tank is in Lisa's office. Used to be my office, but she stole it from me. And this was originally done for her giant beta named George. Unfortunately, he passed a while back. And so it has become a breeding ground for snails. She's become completely obsessed with snails. So it is full of snails from top to bottom, left to right. And as far as the equipment goes on it, it's the hang on the back, or actually internal hang on the back from Aquarium that I don't think it came with the tank. Maybe it did, maybe, I don't know. But we've had it on there ever since we set it up. It's a nice little filter. It works, especially for a tank full of snails. There's a couple of more plants in there that have been in there all along. This light is not for that. I don't even know what this light is. Lisa put this light up here just to light this plant right here that's not even growing in the tank. It's on the outside of the tank. That's what that light is for. I don't know. Lisa does weird things sometimes, but that's it. I mean, it's very simple. It's just become a breeding tank for snails. Let me know if you think these snails should end up on our website for sale. Remember this? This is the Zen Aqua Tank that Lisa scaped a while back with an adorable Dumbo beta in there. He is just as happy as can be. But this is a fun tank. The only bowl that we have, Lisa had a lot of fun scaping it. It's just simple and it fits perfectly with all of her plants. We've got a little Nano sponge filter from Higer in there, the light that came with the system. And just look at it. It looks amazing right there in the middle of all the plants. It just fits perfect. And it gives the nice place for Roxy and Honey to take naps. Well, here's a tank you don't get to see all that often, and that's because it's down in our basement and we don't make videos down there. But this is my 240-gallon Peacock and Hap tank. Got this tank back in 2016 from Custom Aquariums, and I've been absolutely in love with it ever since. Same dimensions as the Yellow Lab tank that I have up in my garage. It's just a different color. For the filtration, it is again the seamless sump from Custom Aquariums. Hey, listen, if it works, why do anything different? I tried to do something different in my Yellow Lab tank and it didn't work. So stick with what you know, stick with what works. This system definitely works. I've got two 300 watt Eheim heaters in there and two 6-foot lights from Current USA. It's a very simple system, but you can see it looks really good, really shows those blues really well. I don't know. I'm in love with this tank. I cannot wait to be able to spend more time with this tank. It's kind of a shame that it's stuck down in our basement. This is the first of two 125-gallon tanks that Lisa has. This is the one that started out as her beta sorority. It worked really well for a while, but we've transitioned it over. She's got a couple of ideas of what she wants to do with this tank, but for right now, we have her 5 feeder fish in here that are not going to be fed to anything. They are 5 of the most spoiled feeder fish you've ever seen. And we just absolutely love this tank. But these fish will go back outside, again, on the other end. No reason to move them now. We'll wait until we're down in North Carolina, and they're going to go in a 150-gallon tub outside. As far as this, what we have running this tank, we have 2 hang on the backs on here, and 2 large sponge filters. We've got a Title 55 back there. I added a leftover Emperor 400 that I've had for like 15 years. I had that and plugged it up and it immediately cleared everything up and it was a beautiful thing. So it's kind of a hodgepodge tank right now with the sponge filters and all of the hang on the backs and all of that, but it works and it's a great storage tank for the goldfish. They are really not happy with me teasing them with my fingers right now. But the lights that we have on here are the Kessels. I did a video on these lights. These lights are incredible. They're very expensive, so just beware. But these lights, they're fantastic. They just cost a lot of money. You could buy a nice used car for what these cost. But if you're into super high-end lights, they're definitely going to do it for you. And there's no heater in here, not in this tank, because the room is like 180 degrees, so it doesn't need a heater. This is something that I had to convince Lisa to allow me to show in this video, because this has basically become, well, it's just a mess. I mean, it is, and she would be the first one to tell you that. The fish are all healthy, the tanks are fine, they just don't look very good right now, and again, that's a symptom of us being completely overwhelmed getting everything ready for the move. But these are going to get set up again at the new house and in the new old fish house. And she's going to go through and rescape all of these. And she's quite the aquascaper now, so be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is Lisa's crown jewel. This is her baby. This is her favorite tank in her collection. It is the second of the 2 125s. This is a tank that you've seen many, many times in videos. This is her discus tank. She loves the discus that resemble wild discus. These are Santarums. All of them are all from Discus Hans, and you can see they are fabulous. I bought these for her birthday in 2019, and they were really small. I've actually shown them in a lot of videos, but that was a lot of fun. We went up there on her birthday and bought these fish for her from Hans, and look at them now. They're just absolutely spectacular. This is, again, one of the crown jewels in the collection, and this tank probably gets more attention than any other tank in Lisa's collection, except for the beta tanks, of course. But this one is going to get a makeover on the other end, and there's going to be a major, major upgrade. I don't know if these fish are going to go in the new tank, but we're going to do another discus tank for Lisa, and we're going to go big. I think we're thinking like 500 gallons. It's going to be absurd, and that is for the new studio. Subscribe if you want to see that. That is coming eventually. We'll have to see, but this tank is, again, lit by Current USA lights. This is the Orbit system, I know that. Filtration, FX4, and a Title 55 is what we're running on here. Been a fan of FX4s forever, and the FX series in general. I've been talking about them on this channel since 2013, so it's kind of a no-brainer. The Tidal 55 is on there just for a little bit more movement, a little bit more flow, because this is such a long tank. So yeah, I mean, and heaters, I think you do have a heater in here, a 300 watt heater, but the room is also really, really hot. So discus like to be super warm, and trust me, these discus are warm. You know, I'm sitting here filming next week's video where I'm gonna go through feeding all of these, and I just realized I didn't even mention the fact that there's a dozen rummy nose in this tank and a vampire pleco. I don't know how I forget these things. So there you go. There are all of our hobby tanks. This has been a lot of fun to go through and kind of talk about what all these things are. And I think if I was to do this again a year from now, almost nothing would look the same, because not only are they going to be in a different space, they're going to be in a different state. And they're probably, a lot of these tanks going to have different fish in them and stuff like that. They're all going to get made over. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to try to put auto water changing system in some of these tanks. So it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to share that with you. This video is kind of a reference. Hey, look at the way things used to be before we moved into the new space. If you want to see all of the different stuff going on with that new space, if you want to see it right now, you might want to become a channel member. The button is right down below the video. It says join. That is going to give you access to all of that right now. But once we move and we're already settled in and all of that kind of stuff, that's when I'll start uploading videos about the whole process of getting that set up and ready to go for all of these tanks. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're building a huge beta system in there. It's going to be awesome. You're not going to want to miss that. You'll see it in a couple of months. But if you want to see it now, channel member is the way to go. So anyway, thank you so much for going on this journey with me. I can't wait to see you on the other end. This has been fun. I don't know what more to say. Bye.